And we're live.
And
Hello, everyone.
hello, everybody.
Greetings.
We're running just slightly late, so let's go ahead and jump right into this.
If the rumors of our demise were greatly exaggerated.
Here we go. Well, here we are. It's Thursday night. We're all gathered around a microphone somewhere in the state of Washington. This must be Caching in the Northwest. It's the only podcast dedicated to geocaching in the great Pacific Northwest. We'll talk about caches and cachers unique to this little corner of the country. So stop, drop, and roll to dodge those sagebrush. It's time to go caching in the Northwest.
That's right. Rolling along with the tumbling tumbleweeds.
That's right. You got it.
That's right. It is the Wild Wild West, and it's the Wild Wild Thursday night in caching in the Northwest. Now, you might notice the lineup looks a little bit different tonight. Our Canadian co-host is off gallivanting across the countryside with his significant other, Mrs. Land Monkey. But we are very pleased to have a guest with us tonight. I would like to introduce our guest, Tim, also known as Blue Meanies.
Hello, everybody. Glad to be here. Glad to give a chance to talk about what we're talking about.
We are so thrilled to have you along tonight. It's going to be a great episode, and we thank you for taking your time on Thursday night to hang out with the twos of us. Now, listeners out there, you know we love hearing from you about your favorite caches and caching locations in the Northwest in your own voice each week right here on our humble little podcast. You can share yours with us, so be sure to call in at 253-693-TFTC with your favorite cache, and we will play it on the podcast very, very soon. All your message needs to be is about 15 seconds long to include your geocaching name, the GC code of your favorite geocache, the name of it, of course, and obviously why you like that cache, what makes it your favorite. If we play it on the episode, you'll win some very cool swag. And as you also may know, when we have a guest here on the show, well, we ask them to share their favorite Northwest cache with us. So, Tim, do you have a favorite Northwest cache to share with us?
Yeah, my favorite Northwest cache I'd like to share right now would be She Thinks My Tractor's Sexy. It's a puzzle cache. It's got a great title. You get there, and you can spend a while figuring it out, and then there's a whole other part to figure out, even just to sign the log. It's so well crafted. It's so well done that you feel bad that you've put out a cache that isn't that good.
You mean that lamppost hide you actually feel guilty about?
I don't have any of those.
Oh, good for you. That was a trick question.
Yeah, I do not have them.
Nice. Well, listeners, we've officially finished the hashtag Geocache Road Trip Contest. The celebrity judging is nearly finished as well, and we'll be getting the prizes from Landsharks, How to Puzzle Cache author Cully Long, Munzie Cache Advanced, Open Caching North America, coinsandpins.com, World Caching. We've got so many prizes ready to mail out. Now, you need to let me know if you're coming to the block party, and we'll hand those prizes to you personally.
Ooh, so special delivery.
You can't get better than special delivery, right?
Great.
Yeah. Now, that's what's happened. Let's talk about something else that's happened. The city of Portland has just published a new geocaching policy. And Groundspeak is requiring that existing cache owners certify that their caches comply. Among the more interesting policies are the following actions are now prohibited in relation to the placement of caches: the use of rocks and pebbles of all sizes, use of sticks or logs greater than 2 inches in diameter.
No logs.
No logs. So apparently sticks smaller than 2 inches in diameter may be used if they're dead, loose on the ground, and not embedded into the landscape. Only one cache per cache owner per park.
Interesting.
And severe limitations on the number of caches in each park. So I'll link to the Portland City Council article that mentions this. It's kind of interesting. So
Yeah, especially in comparison to the city of Mount Vernon, where we recently did a geocoin challenge that the city has just heartily embraced geocaching and done some very creative and fun caches right there with full city support as we interviewed the mayor. And if you missed that interview, go back and check it out.
you really should.
Yeah, it was fun.
Now
So,
we have some Q&A, and
Yeah.
interestingly enough, Geocacher Hub7, which we happen to we don't know him. We know of him through his caching mate Donners. So he's finally got the Q&A thing figured out, and well, welcome to the podcast. So,
Welcome.
and IHAM wants to know if we didn't have enough monkey chow this week. Yeah,
That's apparently it. Yeah, the monkeys were restless and
he
took off.
rebelled.
He rebelled. So, another news here, the Spokane History GeoTour is set to launch on Saturday, August 8th. That's just a couple of days away from right this very second as we record, and it might be in the future or past depending on when you're listening. Spokane's first GeoTour is launching 9 a.m. Saturday, August 8th at Riverfront Park. That is really a phenomenal park. I've spent many, many hours there.
Oh, gorgeous, and dates back to the expo.
Yeah, Expo 74, correct?
Correct.
40 geocaches have been hidden throughout Spokane County in locations highlighting Spokane's great history. Participants will use a passport to track their progress and earn points toward a collectible geocoin prize supplied by Cache Advance, our good friends, the Spokane Valley Geocaching Store and Company. The festivities begin at 9 a.m. at Riverfront Park in the North Bank Shelter. So if you're familiar with Riverfront Park, you know where that is. If not, I'm sure it'll be obvious once you get there.
By the large group of people.
Yeah, pretty much. Geocaching events tend to draw a lot of people. Follow the crowd. It is near the last remaining Expo 74 butterfly, and that's another one of those things that if you've been there, you know what it is. They're really cool. There will be a brief overview of the GeoTour, and the passports will be handed out as the geocache locations are released at 9:30 a.m. GeoTour team members will be on site until 5 p.m. to hand out passports, assist geocachers, and also teach anyone interested in learning more about geocaching. That's usually one of the fun parts about these events, is that some people just wander by the park and say, what on earth is going on with all these weird people? Interesting people. And it's a great way to tell people all about the sport and the hobby that we love so much. So if you're looking for more information, go to the website SpokaneGeoTour.com. I'm noticing in the show notes and in the chat room here that we just might have an appearance from the Land Monkey after all. So stay tuned.
We'll hold our breath on that one. Now, before we wrap up our little news section here, we want to remind you that we're always interested in your geocaching news. So, cachers, if you're out and about and you've claimed the latest road trip caching souvenir from geocaching.com, whether that's a CITO or a Earth cache, let us know. Send us, tell us about your epic adventure, and just send that audio. You can send it in an email, any way you want to get it to us, and we'll get you a cool prize from our very overstuffed prize vault.
It is overstuffed. There's lots of cool stuff in there. I can hardly get the other day.
Well, before we get going too far into the show, we have an appearance from the Land Monkey. So apparently the Monkey Chow was shipped just in time.
Just in time.
Appearance.
There was a chat room comment about not having enough monkey chow to feed the Land Monkey tonight.
There's never enough monkey chow.
All right. Well, welcome aboard, Land Monkey. Your audio is just a little bit low there, so I don't know if it's something you can boost or if we'll just have to listen closely for you.
Oh, sure. No worries. I can
There you go.
play around with it.
Yeah, it's good. Well, we're glad to have a full complement of hosts tonight and a special guest, Tim. And Tim, we thank you for your patience as we stumble through the news announcements and appearances of Land Monkeys. We've been looking forward to have you on the show, well, all summer really, and we're excited to learn more about the Spokane History GeoTour. I think I just talked all about it, but I'm sure you have a whole lot more information about the background and all the details about his GeoTour. So I'm going to let you talk all about it.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, we got brought together by Lookout Lisa, who runs Cash Advance, and she brought quite a bit of us together. And we kind of met at an event. And she said she had an impromptu sort of side meeting at the event, and sort of brought a bunch of us together who she knew. And she says, "I got an idea. Let's put together a whole geocoin tour. You've been to them. Everybody by then had done one somewhere or something." And we said, "Well, that sounds fantastic. We'd really love to have one here. Can you imagine?" And the scope became very big, and then it became sort of focused when we realized, oh, we can get a grant from Spokane County through support through the tourism, through some of the taxes they do on the hotels and restaurants. And so we thought, well, if we can get that grant, we can pull this off. And so we just started working, kind of meeting every few weeks, meeting every couple weeks, meeting every week. And we wanted to put together a tour. And when we thought about Spokane, we thought about the first thing we thought of was let's do the history of Spokane. Spokane's, it's the second biggest city in Washington, and it's, as far as the West is concerned, it hardly exists. It's somewhere over the mountains, and it's gone. And it's you got to go through a flat zone, and it's somewhere over there. We don't like to visit. And so we got into discussions. Well, what do we want to what do we want to show people in Spokane? And you want to show them that park. That was the first thing we had to say. You had to show them the park. You got to show them the falls. We got to show them the old buildings, the old cemeteries, the old various places where we could go to. And we went through and started talking, and we had nothing but support for the most part from just about everybody. When we went to talk to a place, they were more than welcome to say, hey, go ahead, and anything had to do with the county was really quick. Even the park, we just ran into the Parks Department talking to them, and they had a great time explaining. One of the guys works for me. He says, what are you guys doing there? Oh, we're just searching for geocache. Oh, I know that. And he goes, I warn my guys about you guys. If they find something with a log in it, just leave it. I'm like, that's great. So we actually had a great conversation with him. But going back to this, we wanted to create something that really kind of delved into the history of Spokane. And so we kind of go into the whole county and started just laying out the entire county, brought up a map, and we all just started, throwing darts. Okay, what about this spot? What about this spot? Can we take people here? Can we take people there? And we wanted to make it accessible, so there's ways to get to earn the coin, because, let's be honest, there are some geocachers who are more addicted to coins than geocaches.
Yeah. It needs to an end, is it not?
You dangle them, and you just watch them you can just make them like little puppies go back and forth with a biscuit. And so we wanted to sort of have them have fun, and we wanted to show off Spokane. And so anything we could find that had a history got thrown on the list, and we probably had 70, 80 places. And when we started breaking it down, we actually finished, I believe our final count should be around 42. A couple reasons why: we're all OCD and we're all geeks.
Nothing wrong with either of those things.
It had to be 42. And quite a few, and we kind of incorporated some of the old stuff, because if you went to a place and said, this is a great old place, it already had a cache. And so we had to find a way to incorporate some of those caches into our tour. We talked to other tours, and they talked about how they'd actually brought those caches in, and we talked to the people and went to them and kind of asked them, and we've done offers and to take care of their caches for them and just do all that sort of background work, changing the layouts. And so we just kind of went out there and flooded. And once we got done, we had so many, we had to get new ones and approved, and we got them all in. And I think we're down to one last cache that's still getting fine-tuned, but everything else has been approved and ready to go. But
Wow.
It's really about just getting, like I said, into the history of Spokane. There's a lot of, it's kind of fun when you get into your town and you don't realize how much stuff is around you.
That's cool. I love Spokane. I have family that lives in Post Falls, Idaho, which is practically a bedroom community to Spokane. And we've been going over there for years for Christmas and summertime, so I've seen it in both cold and warm climates. And my daughter just completed 4 years at Whitworth University in North Spokane. So I spent a lot of time poking around Spokane, but I can't say I know a lot about the history, and I'm really bummed that I can't come to this GeoTour, because it sounds like I would learn a lot about a city that I really enjoy.
Well, hopefully you can come and get to. I mean, it's you can't do it this weekend, but we're still hoping to get as many people, not just this weekend, but afterwards. Keep coming and visiting for over the next year. We're not going to change anything, at least for a year. The obvious discussions have been made as to what it might look like a year from now, and do a whole new and have something new for people to see, and so they're not doing the same thing over and over again.
Good to
So,
know.
but so go ahead, and I would say, we're trying to get people to make plans. Don't worry about this weekend. We have locals who've already come up to me and said, "Hey, we're going out of town." I had somebody saying, I'm headed to Portland, and then I'm going to the block party. And we're like, "Yeah." So if you're coming through here, stop here. If not, come later. Come back when you get back. Do the tour. You'll have a great time, and you can kind of pick and choose. You don't have to. It's going to be one where you don't have to do most of it, but you don't have to do all of it. So there'll be some caches, obviously, for some people they're going to go, "I'm not going there," and that's
Nice.
their choice. And it's a little out of the way.
I love that. Now, yeah, we do need to mention that it is a year-round thing. It's not just this weekend. This weekend is the launch. It's a big party. It's all the hubbub and hurrah. But that GeoTour is going to be there all year. Now, what type of caches are on this GeoTour? Is it mainly traditional caches? Are there some other types of caches as well?
It is mainly traditional caches. There's a handful of multis, and I cannot recall how many puzzles. At least one puzzle cache that I can recall. I'd have to bring up the list if I was looking at it. I don't want to look at it. It'll distract me. So yeah, but we do have. I think there's a couple puzzle caches on there. Oh, and there is an Earth cache. We found a way to incorporate an Earth cache into it, and it's actually fairly centrally located. It's not like you have to go way out of town to get it. And so that was kind of fun that we can include that. But a bunch of multis. I was surprised how many multis we have.
Cool. Nice. Land Monkey, did you get all excited?
A little bit. Actually, I'm curious about the multis because we just finished today an experience where we had a couple of multis in a city that honestly took us a better part of a day to do. So the multis that are part of the cache, how many stages, how long do you think the multis would take to do?
Let's see. I can think of one of them that's fairly far north, and it would take you probably. It took us probably. If I just ran and did that, it would be probably 30, 40 minutes, 45 minutes. The expectation on this is not that people can just come and run and do it real quick in one day. It's really going to take some time to explore. You think about exploring a county and the history of a county. You just can't run and do it in a day. You could if there's a bonus. There's a huge bonus for staying at a hotel because that is who funds us. That's part of our grant. And so we had to sort of say, here's a concession to that money that, when you're being, paid that way, we're saying, okay, since you're funding us, we'll give a concession. We'll encourage people to use the hotels.
Is that specific hotels, Tim, or any?
No, it is not. You can stay anywhere you like. There is one specific hotel that would be fun to stay at, but I'm not going to mention it right now because it'll publish on Saturday, and you can figure out where it is.
Now, Tim, is there any discounts, any discount codes that we can use for the hotels in the area if we're coming to do the...
Unfortunately, no. We couldn't get them to kind of come into that yet. I think this time. I think if we can show the numbers this time, I think this will be a lot easier to go next year and say, let's get some discounts set up and some advertising set up. But we just didn't have a lot of that buy-in. I think we had to do that a little early in the year because we really found everybody kind of spent a lot of their money on that sort of thing earlier than we got to them.
Sure. And I think if they see the bump in hotel occupancy based on this weekend, that they may be a little more generous next year to say, hey, yeah, use a code. Come and stay at our hotel. We want you here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're hoping we'll see some traffic in a particular hotel, at least foot traffic, and that sort of visibility. You want to give that sort of visibility. That's advertisement, and I hate to say that, but it really is. But it's not evil. And so,
no, not at all.
And so, but we want to be able to show numbers. We want to be able to show, okay, look at all these people who did come and visit. Every time we get somebody turn in a sheet for a coin, that's somebody who came in and visited the area. And we're advertising the area a lot. We're trying to say, this is a great place. We love to cache here. Come and cache with us here. You're not going to just do those history tour caches. A lot of those are placed near other caches that are also wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
So another question for you, Tim.
Sure.
If folks are planning to come and do the either at the event or after the event, planning to do the Spokane History GeoTour, are there key things that they should be doing in advance in order to make sure they're prepared So maybe they're only going to be in Spokane for a day and a half, but they'd like to try and get enough caches to qualify for the coin. Is
You
that going to
could
be possible?
Yeah, you could easily do the caches in a day and a half. You could, I mean, I'm talking the, I'm a lazy geocacher. I am the guy who sits there and goes, "What'd you do?" "I did 5 today. I went out." "You spent 5 hours out there?" "Yeah, I got distracted by sandwiches." True story. I got distracted by a burger in Portland. But it's, and then the art museum that took up another few hours. That was great. So you want people to kind of come and explore that. We do have an art museum, the Northwest Museum of Art and Culture, over in Brown's Edition. It would be wonderful for people to come and say, "I'm going to spend some time doing the other stuff. I don't want to just geocache for it." But and so it can be done easily in a day and a half. I mean, if you stayed overnight, you're easily going to have a good time. If you and you got somebody who's hopping out of the car, running out there, and he's grabbing and he's recording everything, and if you've ever done Tri-Cities GeoCoin Challenge, then you know that sort of behavior. Then yeah, you can get it done probably in a whole day. You could probably grab but you'd have to be covering some big distance to do it all in one day. So we really think it's going to be taking 2 days. Most people 2 days.
Nice. Now, as you know, we have a live Q&A going. So we have a question from Three Hams and a Rose. He says, "I'm so excited for this episode. Although normally in Vancouver, BC, I'm in Northwest Montana for these 2 weeks and be driving to Spokane to do the GeoTour." His apologies to Lookout Lisa for the multiple pestering emails he's sent this week about the tour. He goes on to say, "One multi has 6 waypoints, another is a 2-mile walk. Now, he's staying in an RV park Friday night and looking forwards to his bonus."
There you go.
So.
Oh yeah, because you can get the bonus for staying overnight, and it's going to look. It should look pretty good. What's okay? I'm missing the question there. So.
Well, that was actually it. It was more of a comment.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, because I'm looking at the multis right now, and they're not. A couple of them aren't that bad. And but you could probably get out of those. There's going to be some bonuses for doing various things. I believe we talked about if you hit a couple. We have a couple locations, and if you hit both of those, now they're kind of opposite each other, then you would be able to pick up an extra 5-point bonus. If you hit the directions, furthest north, furthest south, east, west, kind of that thing. Those kind of things. There's ways to pick it up, but if you've gone that far, you're going to nail the points.
So, what is the bonus? Are you willing to give us a little insight into that?
The bonus. Well, I was kind of just talking about that. We're just adding bonus points in for getting various things you can do. So and I don't want to give away all of what's there, because if I start saying that, I got somebody who's going to run out there and go start looking in those places, going,
exactly.
"Oh, wait a minute. I got to go south, and I'm looking for what kind of business? Yeah, okay." And I got friends, and I'm not going to mention the name, Bill, who might take off and go. Not saying there are FTF hounds here, but we got a couple.
But nonetheless, yes.
So yeah, you don't want to give away that much of it, but no. So you'll be able to pick that up, and the coin is absolutely beautiful. It went through preliminary design, and they handed it over to Chris Mackey, who's a really talented artist, and he produced a beautiful coin for us that we all just love.
Chris does well, and besides having a wonderful first name, he does fabulous work in coin design. I mean, I have a couple of Chris Mackey design coins that are real showstoppers. So nice.
Yeah, so we were really happy when we got done and looked at the coin and said, "Okay, this is really good." And it does come with its own little cash can that you can actually send out. So you can actually keep the coin and then send out the travel bug as far as that goes.
Right. Keep the coin in your collection, send out the cashkin as a proxy to go exploring in the world. Very nice.
Tim, I've got another question for you, and this may have been covered earlier in the show. I joined late, so I apologize. But if it's re-information, maybe it's a good reinforcement for those who are listening. The information about the GeoTour, the Spokane History GeoTour, is that now available on the internet if people wanted to go check it out?
The GeoTour, as far as through Groundspeak, doesn't go live until the morning. We've kind of got a preliminary sort of Facebook, and I think he's got a link to it, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah,
I have a link to the it's facebook.com/Spokane GeoTour if you want to go look at information there.
so that kind of gives you the information. And obviously, when it goes live, you'll be able to go through Groundspeak, geocaching.com, and see the whole. Oh, here's the GeoTour. Here's my bookmark list. Let me grab it and go. You can print out your own passport. You can go. You don't have to. You can do whatever you want. But we will have passports printed up, available. We're going to also do a sort of, for the old school people, a little bit of a printed sheet, listing the codes, listing the cache, the GC codes, the names, coordinates, and hints.
Nice.
We actually had a young, one of the sons of one of our group said, you should include the hints, because he always, he thinks, oh, I want the hint. And that's for people who want to grab a sheet and just go and start putting in chords without having to mess around with anything on their own. So we're happy to help them.
I'll let you know that Bill, also known as Air Rooster, is listening, and he promises to stay home tonight.
I love the guy. But he can find an FTF faster than just about anybody. If it publishes within 5 miles of his house, I don't even bother thinking about it. I might get it. No, I won't.
Now, the Spokane GeoTour has picked up some notoriety in the press, hasn't it? It's been in the newspapers. Is it true it's been on TV as well?
Yeah, we actually had. I think they ran a blip on television. One of the television stations. Don't want to really plug them, but yeah, I think it doesn't really matter. I think it was KXLY. I think it was Channel 4. Ran a blip. I think we're trying to talk to another one right now about having them there. And since we're going to have something, there's going to be another event in the park. And so they're going to have a reason to be in the park already, so we're trying to get them to also kind of be with us too. Mm-hmm. And then the Spokesman Review ran an article, or has a blip on it, and so we've been able to link to that and say, hey, look, we're getting the press, and I think a lot of us have shared that out, making sure, just trying to get as many people out there interested, even those who've never cached before. Mm-hmm. It's always funny when you meet somebody and when you're caching and you find yourself recruiting. It's like, join our club. We're not evil.
Nice. Well, I know there's a lot of buzz in the NorthWest geocaching community about this weekend. Land Monkey, you're going to make a special stop that way, aren't you?
We are. We're not going to be able to. The timing of our trip isn't going to allow us to be there for the event, so we're going to be there a mere couple of days after the event, with the additional challenge of not having any internet access in advance. So it's going to be interesting.
Well, if you're able to grab that sheet that has the coordinates, the hints, and we'll
have stations set up, and you'll be able to actually even go to the Cache Cave, Cache Advance's Cache Cave. They'll be open all weekend, and so if you want to get in, we can hook people up. We're going to be sitting there loading up GPSs. We're going to have that GPX file dumping them as fast as we can. Hopefully, people will be patient. I've seen some people who get a little intense about being first. Give me that GPX file in there.
I've made a couple of personal visits to the Cache Advance headquarters there. Do I understand it? Has it moved since I've been there?
It has now moved. It's now in Spokane Valley, out on Sprague, which is kind of in the middle. It's just off of Evergreen on Sprague. Much nicer location. If you've been to the old location, that was one that it's serviced. It worked. The new location's a wonderful spot. Really nice. For those of you who are interested, there's a homebrew place next door, and they also fill growlers.
Oh.
I'll plug them because they've already got enough of my money.
Okay. Nice. It must be wonderful to have such a resource as Cache Advance and Lookout Lisa right in your town to be able to, have a space to throw events and, have all these resources available. So.
Oh yeah, she's been wonderful about even letting people who've been coming to visit who've set up events to do in her place. She's allowed other people to come in and host their events there, and it just allows for a great space. Plus, you got wonderful stuff in there. She's always got everything there. She's got a huge travel bug. If you've never seen it, it's always fun. Big,
it's cool.
The big ammo can that's big enough to hide a few people in.
Is there still a trackable ping pong table there?
I think it's out back right now. I don't know if they've decided whether it's coming in or not. That's a whole. I think that's up for discussion still. But yeah, big cushy chair that's trackable.
Oh, nice.
So she's
how do you
been
move
great.
these
It's been
things?
wonderful to have that wonderful spot to go, and she has so much knowledge. And she goes to so many places. She gets to travel. Her and JD here in Kid Vegas, and they see so much stuff. And so it's always fun when they come back and they can tell us about everything they've seen and done. And we're all
Yeah,
jealous, but we do get to enjoy at least that knowledge.
Sure.
very nice. Well, Tim, thank you so much for coming on the episode tonight. I mean, wow, this is going to be a great event this weekend. But not only that, it's the ongoing all year round GeoTour that's available for any geocacher. So
Mm.
thank you for sharing your thoughts with us tonight.
Yeah, thanks for letting me talk about it. I could probably keep going because there's just so much. But I'm also fighting that whole. I want to tell you all the details of all this fun stuff we did, and I'm like, I can't give away
Well,
everything.
maybe we can have you on in a few more weeks, and you can tell us how it went, and we'll go
Yeah,
from there. Then you can spill a few more of the beans.
Yeah, I'd love to because it'd be great to talk about some of the people who've actually contributed to this, including Goblin Dust.
Oh, I
So,
like Goblin.
how's
Dust.
that for a name drop?
Name
There's
drop. Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge.
So that should tell you a little bit more too.
Well, now we do have a question. Well, it may be more of a statement, and again from Three Hams. He says, I heard that there will be a public bookmark list of the 42 caches, or could I just make a pocket query of it and have it emailed to yourself within seconds and download it?
The easiest way, honestly, the easiest way is to wait for when it publishes, and go ahead and go through geocaching.com and look for the GeoTour. Look for the Spokane GeoTour. It'll now show up as one of those spots. You get it on there. Click on that. It's got a GPX download right there. That is the fastest way to get that file.
There you go. So there you heard it here first. Very nice.
The best
ahead.
tips was on caching the Northwest. I'm excited to go over and visit my family over there now. Although with family in Post Falls, I don't often patronize the Spokane hotels. That becomes our stop. But I'm going to do my best to complete this GeoTour to get a coin. Sounds like fun.
I hope you do. Yeah, like I said, I hope everybody enjoys it. And I love the coin. I think it's fantastic.
And I'm going to have to stop and see the new Cache Advance location as well.
I recommend it.
All right. Land Monkey, did you want to jump in before we wrap?
No, it's covered all of the questions I have, or at least everything that Tim's able to divulge. So we're looking forward to coming back after.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to having him back, and we can hear more juicy tidbits and details after they're released to the rest of the world. Well, before we go, however, let's let listeners know if they wanted to find out more information about any of us goofy people and the illustrious Blue Meanies, Tim. Where would they go to find us? Tim, we ask in our polite way to allow guests to go first. Where would people find more information about Blue Meanies or the Spokane GeoTour?
Again, you go through the link that's going to be in the notes. Hit the Facebook page. Eventually, we're going to go live. We'll have a web page, and you'll be able to get to that too. That'll be on the GeoTour site. We'll have a link to our web page, so you can kind of get that. So any information you want to get about getting the coins, getting passports, if you need, for some reason you can't print them off, or you want one, we'll have everything right there, ready and available. If you're trying to reach me, just find me on geocaching.com.
All right.
Blue Meanies is fairly easy to find.
Blue Meanies. Go check out the Beatles movie if you don't know where that reference is from. Land Monkey, thanks for popping in and joining us tonight on the road. Where can they find you?
Well, you can't find me at home right now, but you can find us on Twitter or Instagram as at LandMonkeyGC, and on Facebook, LandMonkey, Team LandMonkey. Yeah, think about that. I don't have my notes in front of me. And always on YouTube if you just search for LandMonkey.
Good to have you along. Bad Cop, where can they look for you?
Well, you can go to Twitter, Facebook, Google+, Pinterest, all is Caching NW. It's pretty easy to find.
Pretty easy to find.
And Wits End, what about yourself? You've held out.
Just like you, try to keep things simple. I am Wits End. Twitter, Facebook, geocaching, yellow, Google, of course, you got to add the plus in there with geocaching.com/pluswitsendus. I don't know why.
That would be google.com.
Yes, google.com. And all those various things. I'm even at a phone at 347 wits end if you want to call and leave me a voice.
So jealous of that easy phone number you got.
All right, so that's a wrap for tonight. And listeners, we want to thank you for taking your Thursday night and taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching the Northwest. Did you know you can be part of this crazy little show here? Call 253-693-TFTC. Leave us a comment. Ask us a question. Give us the final coordinates to a puzzle. Give us all the 42 caches of the Spokane GeoTour. Give us whatever you want on a voicemail anytime, day or night, 253-693-TFTC. And you can also email feedback@cachingnw.com. Your support helps keep quality shows coming. If you like this show, please click that PayPal button on the cachingnw.com website. This show is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license, copyright 2015 by Chris Unfenauer. Thanks, everybody.
Good night, folks. Okay, Tim, we're officially clear of the recording, but we are still live on the air. We
Yeah, that's all right.
have a few minutes there where we talk with people.
Post-show chat here.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I made a mistake at the beginning of the show, and I apologize. I quickly read a name and assumed it was another name. So, geocacher Hubadub7. I apologize. I thought you were someone else. So, he says he doesn't know Donners.
It is not Hub.
It's not Hub, which I quickly read and thought, oh, it's Hub. He's made. Okay. So he used to be RetroChez, but he changed it to Hub7 because it just the other name doesn't seem to make sense anymore. So
I don't think I've met Hubadub7, but perhaps he'll be at the geocaching block party, the last one, and come by and say hi.
You know, that's less than a week, or a little more than a week away for us. It's exciting. So we've got our official spot set or staked out there. Geocaching.com has been very generous to us in the past, and so we have our own spot, and the three hosts will be there. Come on by, shake our hands, give us those coordinates to a tough puzzle cache, and oh wait, no, I didn't.
I've got a spoiler here for anybody who's watching live, and this is actually news to the other hosts as well because this just transpired today. But we have prizes from the Helena GeoTour that we're going to have at our booth. Now, we're not sure exactly what we're going to do to give those prizes away.
Interesting. Oh, now the wheels start turning.
Yeah.
But we're going to think about it.
If you can stand on your hands for 3.5 minutes. Oh.
I will stand on my head to beat all deals.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll see, now you can negotiate for puzzle solutions. Now you can...
Oh, now we got it, yeah. Tim, I like the way you think.
We have some very cool swag from the folks at the Helena GeoTour.
Very nice.
We'll have at our booth, and we will be able to. We'll have some stuff that we're going to give away for free. Just you come by, you're going to get something, and we are going to have a couple of very cool big items from the GeoTour: water bottles, flashlights. Got to come by.
Yeah.
How very cool. Let's see, what else do we have in the show note or in the Q&A here? IHAM. Go ahead.
Oh, we name dropped Goblin Dust, and he said, speaking name dropping of Goblin Dust, he asks, did anybody make it down to Johnny Island's throne room in Centralia? You might recall that was his favorite Northwest cache, as played on a recent episode here. Sadly, I have not. It's been a little busier summer than I had intended, and I was hoping to have been down there by now, but I still hope to get there very soon. Sounds
yeah,
like
I had planned to make it either last weekend or sometime during this week, and it just didn't work out. Family got a little busier than I had anticipated as well. But it's still on the list to do. We're going to hit that one this summer because I only hear good things about it. So.
And then I tried to call him around because Dad was trying Gambia.
And
that's definitely on the to-do list for us as well. Yeah. That's a long drive, and right now we've decided to head south.
And Browning says, prizes. So,
He's-
feel free to stop on, Freiling.
Freiling also looks forward to visiting Spokane to visit the GeoTour soon. Oh, and Hubbard 7 will be at the block party, so make sure to come by the booth and say hi.
You know what, Hubbadub 7, because I made a mistake, come by. We'll get you something a little special. Make sure you
And
introduce yourself.
We might even be able to introduce you to Donners.
You never know. I'm not going there. I am not going there.
Never mind.
Oh man, you guys are awful.
I'm not fixing them up. I'm just saying I would introduce them.
We're
That's
willing
all.
to introduce. Yeah, then you can't lie. And I know her now. I mean, once you've met Donners, you know Donners.
Yeah.
3ham says, heading to Spokane in the Coeur d'Alene area Friday morning. It's a 4-hour drive from here, and doing 50-plus letterboxes and 7 virtuals.
Ooh, is he doing? Is he down near Lewiston? Is he going down there?
I don't know. He'll be at the meet and greet at the Cache Cave Friday evening.
Oh, okay. So I'll see
So
him
3ham, you got to let us know what. I assume there's a trail of letterboxes there. I mean, 50. That's more than I've ever seen.
Yeah, I know. There's a big trail down near Lewiston. I don't know how many it has, but it's got letterboxes. I don't think it's 50. Oh, I don't know. It's got a lot.
That's a lot of letterboxes. Well, I think the other thing is that the letterboxes, I don't know. My experience is when we found letterboxes in the U.S. generally, they tend to be a cache that's maybe just a slightly offset multi with a stamp in it. Letterboxes in Canada generally are a heck of a lot harder. They're like a half-day adventure.
Oh.
Like,
Yeah,
it's a true letterbox. Like
the letterbox
all you have is
hybrids.
instructions.
I'm sorry, I talked over you. That was
That's
rude
okay.
of you.
Go ahead. Letterbox hybrid.
Letterbox hybrids I've found are just usually normal caches with a stamp in them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a little disappointing. I have gone to letterboxing.com because I found a letterbox by accident. We're out at a park one day and I said, that's a great spot there to hide a cache. And sure enough, there was a letterbox there. So, I found it. Now let me go to letterboxing.com and claim it. Tim, I know you won't be surprised, but Bill, Air Rooster, was FTF on that trail. Of all 50 caches.
Yeah, actually, I'll tell you the story on that, and he can hear it. He's not only FTF, he didn't go to the event that was meant to set up to go do the trail.
Oh.
They all go to the event. All these people, and they're like, "Oh, who's this Air Rooster?" Because he's got all the FTFs. He didn't even bother with that. He just showed up and did all the FTFs and then bailed on them. So, yeah, he's got a rep.
I would rather cache with you, Tim, that involved burgers and sandwiches and stuff than go after you.
Yeah, I'm way too easily distracted. I don't know.
Nice.
Wet Coaster asked if we'll be in the same spot at the block party. I believe we'll be very, very close to that location.
We're going to be between Utah and Washington.
Yeah, there you go.
So the Utah GeoTour and Washington State Geocaching Association. Somewhere between Utah and Washington, you're going to find caching in the Northwest.
That's right. IHAM says life is what happens when you have other plans. And that takes me to the a John Lennon song lyric, which fits with the Beatles theme of Blue Meanie tonight. So go look up the song Beautiful Boy if you don't know that song lyric. It's a great song.
Okay. I know which one you mean now. Oh, let's see. 3ham says no. They are letterbox hybrids scattered all over. They're on the traditional type with a stamp. They're all the traditional type with stamps.
Oh, okay.
So you get the icon, you don't have to do the work.
That is a type of geocache that is probably the most abused as far as what it is. It's just people don't really look at what a letterbox is, and I'm just as guilty because you start looking at that icon and everybody wants to fill up with those icons. It's like, how do I get a bunch of those? Somebody's got to put some out. So
yeah. It's an interesting throwback to letterboxing, but I don't know. I mean, I'm sure if they're the Canadian version, we're going to go, wow, those are so much better. Yeah. But their Southern American cousins it's just another geocache.
Well, let me just say that's purely
Go
just
ahead.
out of our experience, and it may have specifically to do with the geocachers in our Vancouver area. Might be more sticklers for the rules. Might be the
Nope,
viewers.
that's all across Canada. I just said it.
No, it's on the internet. It must be true.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
Well, if you're out there listening and you are a letterbox junkie hybrid whatever, and you know all about them, and you'd like to come on the show and talk about them, give us a call, and you could be a guest right here on Caching the Northwest.
Especially if you're a hybrid something or another.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see that.
That would be compelling podcasting right there, I'm telling you.
It all sounds really good in my head, and then it hits my mouth. It all falls apart. So
It's amazing what that little piece of meat there in your mouth, the tongue, can do to a great thought.
yeah.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll cast off for the night. Thanks again. Be sure to join us next week because, we're going to talk about more stuff that we're really excited about.
Yeah.
Good night.
Night.
Good night.